Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Millennial Mrs. Podcast. I am your
Thank you.
Renee Watson, and I am super duper excited today to have Miss Lacresia. Welcome, 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 welcome. I truly
Thank you,
appreciate
Renee.
her for coming on this show. So I met Lacresia in high school. We went to Western together, and I have seen her evolve into different facets of her life. And I've reached out to her for her to come on to the Millennial Misses. For those of you who are just tuning in, the purpose of the Millennial Misses is to give other women just the motivation to keep going. You are not in this alone. As though it may feel like that at times, it may feel like you are alone. It may feel like your back is
Mhm.
against the wall, but in all actuality, there are a million women who have gone through the same thing that you are currently going through. And guess what? It does get better. There's another side of that hill that you feel like you're walking up. And so we just want to give some encouragement today and show some different insights on how we have navigated that. So
Yes.
today we are just going to jump right in. I want to start by saying, Lacresia, tell me who you are. Tell the world who you are.
Who I am. Well, first, I want to say thank you for just creating this platform to allow people and women, and females to share things because, like you said, it's very much needed. And a lot of times when we speak, we never know who it's for. And I always say, I don't care if this reached one person, then I did what I'm supposed to do. And so I just want to say thank you for creating this space and allowing me onto your podcast to share my journey and who I am and just to help and motivate people. So, um, who am I? I always like to lead it off and as I'm a woman of God. I'm God's child. I am I wear many hats. So I am an author. I am a transformational speaker. I am a transformational coach. I am a certified health and life coach. Um,
The
and
certifications for me.
yeah, and in the midst of, just wearing those hats, I do have a full-time job. And I like to share that because I am in a space where I do leadership in the federal government. And it means a lot to me because I didn't realize that the hats that I wear and what I do outside of my actual 9 to 5 is leadership as well. And so I am fulfilled with doing leadership inside and outside of work because I'm called to serve people. So when I'm called to serve people, um, I just love what God has placed me on earth to do, which one of the things is to share my journey and share my story and help motivate females that was just like me. And so I feel like I am a woman that overcame many adversities, a woman that made many mistakes, a woman that tried to find her way. And through those adversities, I ended up becoming successful despite those adversities. And that's why I'm passionate about what I do because I feel like I've been strategically placed here on earth to help females with the same things that I felt like that I have dealt with. And I always say, I wish that I had a me when I was dealing with those things. So I just personally feel like, I am called and my purpose is really to help and guide young women on their journeys and to really help them. So, yeah.
Okay. So take me back. Take me back. I guess you said one of the things was about you wish that you had a you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
at what age did you feel like it was a pivotal shift in your life where you felt like you had to make some decisions and you wish that you could go back? Now, hindsight is 2020. So
Mm-hmm.
at what age and what decisions like place me in that place in your life when you felt like you could have went back to that moment to sort of kind of shift some things around?
So to me, I feel like it's a funny question. Like it's like, okay, I feel like I have two answers for
Okay.
that question. So first, if I could go back, like I probably wouldn't change anything because that is exactly why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I didn't go through any of that, I don't feel like I would be so passionate. I wouldn't feel like um it's like what I know now, I wouldn't be serving my purpose
Mm-hmm.
entirely. If I could go back and change anything now, I would say a pivotal moment where I could have went back and really looked and I'm like, dang, you had no idea what your true potential was or what you were doing is when I was an exotic dancer for some years. And I started when I was 21 and I danced until I was 24, going into 25. And at that time, with everything that I was exposed to and just not valuing myself and just the certain behaviors that I was engaging in where I was just truly not valuing myself. And not only was I not valuing myself, I was doing stuff to dim my light. I was doing stuff to fit in an environment that was not me, never was me. And because of that, I stood out in an environment by others. So others saw my light. I was steady trying to dim my light
To
by
fit
fitting
in
in
the way you weren't supposed to fit in anyway.
where I was never supposed to fit in. And it was taken for other people to ask me and tell me, what are you doing here? It's something about you that's different and you don't belong here. And it was so many people that was telling me that. And what I realized is I did not see the value in myself that others saw for one, but I definitely didn't even see the value in myself during that time. And that was a pivotal moment for me because I realized that you was never even meant to be in those spaces. However, it has helped you with who you are today. But during those times, I'm like, dang, you didn't even realize who you were or the potential that you had or the power. Like, you were really dimming your light in those places and you were trying to fit in and be dark where you were meant to shine at.
I think that's powerful. I think that a lot of times when we're growing up and we think we know everything and we think like whatever we come up with is the great idea, I think that we think it's the only way. So what
Mm-hmm.
did you say when you decided to be an exotic dancer? Did you feel like you did not have another alternative at that moment?
Um, it, I I think that I was so I'm the type of person when I had my mind made up, I'm gonna do
You're gonna
something.
do it.
So so at that time, it wasn't that I had another alternative. I think I was so influenced by what I saw and what I kept hearing because at the moment, that lifestyle was really something that was talked about.
Mhm.
And also at the same time, I was in an abusive relationship. I was at a job that I couldn't stand. I was a new mom. And I could not stand where the place I was in at that time. So to me, okay, and I was in school as well. So I was getting my degree. So in order to leave this abusive relationship, in order to, I hated this job, so I'm about to get out of this job too. I need to make fast money right now because I was about to be a single mother and I still had to go to school during the daytime. So the only thing I could think of was I'm going to go the route of making fast money. Now I wasn't going to be a drug dealer, but I
But
was
there
going to
are
do
options, but we
something
chose this.
legal. I was going to do something that was legal. And at the time, everybody talked about, even in the music, it was so influential that everybody talked about exotic dancing. So I was like, well, maybe I'll try this route. I have no idea what really made me go through with really trying out to be an exotic dancer, but I did it. And I guess I was like, that's my way right now. So I never really looked at anything as like, okay, maybe I can do something else as an alternative route. I think honestly, I was just trying to escape
Mhm.
where I was at the time and escape the pain that I was in. And so because I was trying to escape, I don't know, maybe I just thought that I'll just go this route and just see what it's about. Yeah.
That's powerful because that pain that sometimes come with life is
Mhm.
something that will force you to sometimes do some things that you would have never thought that you would
Mhm.
have done, but
Yeah.
something that you most definitely end up doing. When it comes down to like your friends and your family, do you feel that was there ever like a level of shame, or was it like a level of support, or was it just a level of I'm not going to tell them? Like, how do you feel that process was for you?
Um, I think
Wait a minute, let me add a two-part. How do you feel
okay,
that process was? And if you could go back to be in that process for somebody else, what would you have asked for to be different? What
okay.
would have
So
helped you if the support was a different way or whatever like that?
um well, first to your first question, I remember telling my friends, and my friends was very they were supportive. They was like, girl, I'm coming down there. What I gotta do? And so I remember my friends was like, yeah, girl, we coming down here to make you look good. So I was like, okay. And but when I felt like people that knew me found out, they was like, I think more disappointed. Like, you so smart. You got this stuff going for yourself. You're in college. Why are you doing this? And so I felt like tunnel vision, or I wasn't really trying to hear what nobody had to say. I already had my mind made up. And I remember my comment was so ignorant when I said, you don't pay my bills, so why are you telling me what to do? Now, granted, that might have been true. But for people that's wanting the best for you, like I feel like I was so like, I'm going to do what I want to do, not listening to people that was really like trying to support me and tell me that I see something better in you and that is not you.
Mhm.
And I even think, um, I think at that time, maybe I wasn't so much receptive, but also I don't even know if I had maybe the right delivery either. I'm not sure. I really truly think that I was dealing with some pain from my childhood that I was trying to escape, and I was looking for some type of attention. So I really wasn't trying to hear anything of what anybody had to say.
Sometimes
And
it's
I
in that
think,
place.
and I think your question, the second part was what I'm sorry, what could I have done
So, for
differently?
instance, what could other people and that was around you, like your support system, what could they have done, which would have made you maybe feel more supported in that moment? And because you're in that, you've been in that light. How can others who may be supporting someone who is in something and maybe feeling the same way that you're feeling, what would you suggest the best route to support them might be?
Mm. So first, I think what I might have needed, that this is a very good question because I'm actually still trying to figure out what do these females need today?
Mhm.
Because when I thought about it, well, back then I was 20, going on 21. I didn't want to hear what anybody had to say.
Mhm.
So sometimes I struggle with what if that they don't even want to hear what I have to say? And so what I think that how people could have supported me probably was just continuing to just pour in me and tell me how valuable I am and how much they love me. Um, how much I want the best for you. Not a matter of you shouldn't do this, you need to change your mind with doing this. But I want to let you know that I love you and I'm here to support you. It doesn't mean that I'm going to support what you're doing. I'm just going to support you by not talking down on you, not making you feel that you're inadequate, not making you feel like I'm better because I chose a different path or a different route. I love you. I want the best for you. I just see your value and I would love for you to see your value in yourself one day. I think that's what I probably needed. And I think that if somebody was in my shoes, I think that's the route. Because we have to continue to be patient with people. And when I carry out my purpose and my gifts and the things that I'm purposed to do, because I call it a purpose, like this is just my what I do entrepreneur wise and inside of my job, it's purpose call. Like this brings me fulfillment. So when I think of my purpose, I think of what God is telling me to do. And when he tells us certain things to do, we have to possess those qualities that he possessed. So when I think of what is love is patient, love is kind, love don't boast, love don't brag, like love. So if I'm called to do these things and I see a person that needs that guidance or that's doing something where I'm like, dang, I have a heart for what this person is doing. I have to operate how God wants us to operate. So it's not that I can come to you and say, what are you doing? Oh my God, you have no idea you're doing. You're taking off your clothes. You showing. It's like, listen, I love you, right? I want you to see your value. You are a beautiful person. I want you to just look back on what it is that you're doing and see how you're treating yourself. Mm-hmm. So it's more so like an educational purpose. And just if we are, supposed to operate how God wants us to operate, then I want you to see your body as a temple. Mm-hmm. And it's not that and everybody's honestly not even there with the spiritual standpoint of I'm not trying to come at you spiritually like God wants you to do this and God, I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just trying to
just to get you to see.
Yes, right. Yeah. It's just that if we are operating in his image, because I've been there. So ain't no judgment at all. I've been there. But I have a heart for the people that I know that you don't see your value, right? And I want to help you see your value in yourself.
That's good. So, I think in full transparency, so we're like I think a year different. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then even when I knew that you were doing that, when I saw you, to me, and again, I'm a year older, I had no judgment, especially when I saw that you were in school. I literally was like, oh, she got a plan. Like in my mind, I was like, this is a smart plan, because while everybody else is student loans and struggling and everything else, like, this got a plan. Like, that really was my thought on it. And then again, from just seeing each other on social media and things like that, at one point I felt like I would have said something to you, but I did not feel that it would have been received. And I don't even necessarily think it was you. I think it was more of like, sometimes when you see something, or not necessarily when you see something in somebody else, but when you want to encourage somebody, sometimes it can come off as in a wrong way.
I got you.
So at one point, like after I saw you, then you were like in a relationship, and I like saw it on social media, and I was like, I really wish I could reach out to her. And then I was like, I don't know if that's going to come off like, one way or another. And so I did. I prayed. I can say that. So like, when I truly say that I am so excited to like see how you have blossomed and like grown and evolved, I say like, Genuinely, I am so
Mhm.
happy because more importantly, I think that people have to go through their journey. And
Mhm.
everybody's journey is not going to be the same. Everybody
Mhm.
can't walk on one path, right? So there
Mhm.
are several different paths, and it's a purpose in that. And like you said, from your path, you have been able to discover your purpose. And had you
Mhm.
not gone to the strip club and decided to do whatever, who
Mhm.
knows where you would be at today? And
Yeah.
so
It's
I believe that your story is going to touch a whole bunch of other girls. And
Mhm.
not just
Mhm.
girls, I think people in general, we're faced with so many different challenges and so many things. And so I commend you from one Black girl to the next. I'm proud of you.
Thank
And I'm
you.
excited to see all that God has and is doing in your life. So
Thank you.
tell me, you're so welcome. Tell me what made you decide to leave dancing? Like, what was your aha moment? I'm out.
Mhm. Oh, I remember. I think one when I realized that I was not the same as those girls. I think I realized when I graduated from college, and I actually had like a party down there. I had this whole I had a party. And when I felt like a celebrity, like when all the, not from the people like that came in, from the girls,
Mhm.
in a sense of, oh my God, you graduated college. And when I mean, they kept on saying, what do I have to do? Like, it seemed like it was something that was like unattainable
Mhm.
to me.
It was
It
simple.
wasn't that was unattainable because one, I don't know if it's because of the high school we went to where they pushed us to go to, college. We went to a college preparatory school. In my family, I have it goes down the line like a lot of females or people in my family, and I say females because honestly, my family is dominated with females.
I get you.
All degrees, right? So everyone went to college. I just looked at it as it was something that I was supposed to do.
Mhm.
So I think I looked at it more as just it wasn't a big deal to me. Like granted, I was happy that I got my degree and everything that I went through. That was like a special moment for me because I really worked hard to get this degree. But at the same time, I didn't feel like it was something that was out of the ordinary.
Mhm.
And so when I had the females coming to me, like, oh my goodness, how did you do that? Or how do I do that? Or can you help me go to school? I was like, oh my God, this is something that's not common. Even though that many people talk about dancers that go to school to get their degrees, it's not that common as it
Yeah,
seems.
I was watching. I do watch a little reality TV, and
Uh-huh.
so I was watching the like Beyond the Pole, and
Yes, yes.
a lot of the girls, it was like trying to transition from making all of that money to you want me to start from like at the bottom with like a degree, but I'm making way more money than a
Mm-hmm.
person that has a degree. Sort of like when a person is doing or selling drugs or something like that. It's sort of like
Yeah,
wrapping your mind around, I'm making all of this in just
yeah.
a day, in just the night, and you want me to change it and shift into doing something else. So yes, it
Yep.
does seem like, is it worth
Mm-hmm.
it? Why would I do that? Especially if you don't have anybody in your family, if you didn't go to a school that supports and promotes this,
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of foreign. Like, why would I do
Yeah,
that?
exactly. And the mindset, just like you said, the mindset of females when they run into all of this money is that if I make all of this money in a night, in a week, why would I go to school? Like, why would I ever get a regular job? Like, why would I do any of that? And I know now, this is what I know now versus I didn't really understand before. It was the mindset of people. And I realized that I might not have been where I am now but my mindset was different. Like I always was like a go-getter, but in a sense of I'm gonna get this education. Like
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be down here forever. That was my mindset behind it. Now, granted, I end up being down there longer than I thought, but or because my mindset actually started changing and shifting.
Mhm.
And I started feeling like if I make this money, I'm never going, why would I go work a job? Why would I go have to be in a place and I gotta commit to going to work a 9 to 5 or do this when I can do what I want and wake up when I want and travel if I want and just come in here and work 3 nights and make this? Oh, please. So it's like when I realized that we thought different, that when I graduated, people thought that it was unattainable and they was really celebrating me. And I was grateful for the celebration. But I realized to them, I was an inspiration.
Mhm.
To me, I realized that I'm not around like minded people.
Mhm.
So it was a light bulb went off, and I was like, yeah, I think it's time to go. And I think I started seeing how, even with the customers that would come down and how they would treat me, they treated me different than those females. And I got that, and I would receive the hate from them. And I never understand why I was receiving the hate. I'm not thinking about y'all. But what I realized is that I was always different. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying that I was better, I was different. And so because I was always different, I think that I could never get comfortable in that space because in my mind, I knew that this is not something that you want to do forever. Like you really going to school to try to be a lawyer. You can't do this forever. So I think that I was always thinking about, I was more so not thinking about dancing as something long term. I was just more so thinking about my career and what I really wanted to do and what I really wanted to be. And if I'm going to be showing up on the internet as a dancer or being posted in magazines where people was really like, can I do a photo shoot of you? And I want to put you in a magazine. I would really be like, no,
Mhm.
no. That's not like this is not I don't have aspirations of being a model as a stripper.
Mhm. Right. It's a difference.
So
It's a difference.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
better, but it's different.
exactly. So that's when a light bulb went off for me. And I think it was just perfect because at that time, then it started hitting me where everybody kept saying, you different, you different, you different. You don't belong here. You don't belong here. So if everybody keep coming up to me saying this, what is it that they see in me that I don't see in myself?
Mhm. And
So
sometimes that's valid. Sometimes people are placed in your life to see what you can't even see.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's some moments that it's like, I don't see that. Maybe,
Yeah,
but I don't see it.
yeah,
Not today.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to, I know that you have a daughter, and when it comes down to that, did she ever know that you did that? Or at what point do you think that you would tell her? And how do you
Mm-hmm.
feel about that in general?
Mm-hmm. So I never personally told her yet. I think she has an idea. When I mentioned and asked her, did she know what an exotic dancer was? She said no.
Okay.
Now, she follows me on my social media. So she knows that I do a lot of work around speaking and helping females and helping young girls. And she also knows that I'm an author. So my book is in the house.
So she
So
might have an idea.
I think she has an idea. I just didn't think yet at the time that I published my book and everything. And I started telling my story. I didn't think that she was old enough to know exactly what it is that I dealt with, what it is that I've done. I think that my daughter sees more of me now and working hard now. Now, but kids, they're smart.
Mhm. Mhm.
So my page is public. So it's funny because some of her friends have gone on my page, and I remember like a couple years ago, one of her friends, and I don't even think they're friends anymore, has said to her like, "Did you know that your mom was a stripper?" And so I think my
Yeah,
daughter
but
was
you
like,
grown.
and I think my daughter didn't know what that was. So when she said it to me, she was like, Mom, and she named her friend name, said that you were like something like a stripper or something, or like a dancer. And I was like, do you know what that is? And she was like, mm-mm. And I was like, okay. So I've been trying to figure out the right, like what would be the right age, because I was thinking like 16.
Mhm,
However, I don't want people to be telling her my story before
mhm,
I tell her. So I actually probably she just turned 14. I think that it is a good time now to express to her what I've done, or me, my former life, probably being a dancer. It's just, what do I choose to tell her and what do I choose to keep away from her?
mhm,
And so I think that I'm more so focused on what I do now
mhm.
for women. Why I think she sees a lot of the work that I do, and whatever I do, I try to bring her with me. But if I have that conversation with her, no, I haven't had the conversation with her about like, this is what I did, like, not yet.
Okay. So that
Mhm.
gives us a perfect segue. I want to hear about what you're doing now. Like that is who you was. That's not who you are today.
Right,
What you did
right.
yesterday does not determine who you are and who you're going to be and all of those
Hello.
things. So I'm interested in that. So tell me, let's start with the book. Let's start with
Okay.
the book. Tell me about the book. Tell me what made you decide to write a book. What made you decide to write a book? Tell me where we can get the book and all the things about this book.
Okay. All right. So I actually published this book in March of 2021. So my book has been out now for 2 years, a little over 2 years. The title is Degraded to Elevated, and how to step into your purpose. I can't believe, I hope I ain't scrambling up my title. It's definitely Degraded to Elevated, but that's what it is. Five
Wait
steps
a
to
minute.
walk into
I'm
your
I'm going to
purpose.
pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. Sorry.
So, uh,
I said, go ahead, girl.
so actually it's on Amazon, and it's on my website, lacresia.com.
Okay.
So basically I was already writing a book about my personal life. And I was speaking with a financial coach at the time.
Mhm.
And we were working together. And after our session, we just had a random conversation. And I just started talking to her about, I was telling her over the weekend I went to a birthday party. And it was one of the girls that was a dancer. She invited me to her son's birthday party. And I said, I never had many friends down there. And it's crazy because to this day, I have no friends from down there. None. And the young lady invited me to her son's birthday party. And I went to the birthday party. I took my son at the time. And I was looking at the other girls that was at the party. And as I'm looking at the girls, they look rough. And I was like, wow. And the only thing I said to myself was, God, I'm so thankful
Mhm.
that I don't look like how they look.
Mhm.
Like they look like, somebody that lives a hard life.
Mhm.
Like they look like they didn't take care of themselves. Like in a sense of, they don't have the proper rest. So they look tired. Like, because when you in the scene, like at the club, you always see people in the dark.
Mhm. So you're not seeing them.
So you don't see them in the light. And when you see them in the light with no makeup on, and you like, ooh, right? Like, God, I'm thankful that I don't look like I got 10 extra years added on me. In fact, I'm thankful that I don't look like what I've been through.
Right.
So, so that was like, I just thought to myself, like, man, I'm so glad I don't look like, I don't look like that. And so that's what I was telling the financial coach. And she was like, if I'm looking at you, I would have never in a million years thought that that was ever something that you did. And she was like, and I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, what was it like? And so I was telling her, about stuff and like why I don't do it anymore and why I stopped. And she said, you know what I've never read about? And I was like, what? She said, I've never read a book that tell people why not, like 5 steps how to leave the strip club or why not. She said, because people will sit up here and tell you why, but you really sat up here and told me all the reasons why not. That night, after she said that, I went home because this was pre-COVID. This was before like we was meeting in person and everything. And I remember this was a week before the shutdown. I went home and I sat down and I started outlining a book on why I don't condone females in the strip club.
Mhm.
And did the outline. I went to work, I think the next day. And I left and I went to the library on my lunch break and I just finished outlining. The next day, I remember my manager saying that we're about to have a shutdown. Take your stuff home with you. We'll probably be home for like 2 weeks and then we'll come back to the office. No problem. Shutdown happened. We never reported back to work. I think I spent 3 months just writing my book. I had my phone. I was just writing, and just different chapters of why I don't condone females, what happens behind the scenes of females in the strip club and what it does. And it's no amount of money that's worth what you will go through while you work there. So I end up I was afraid because I was researching publishing companies and I kept hearing that every publishing company don't pick up books. So you better off by self-publishing. So I remember I finished writing that book. It was so many errors in it. I ain't go back and read it or nothing. I submitted the manuscript because I said, if I sit here and I read over it, I'll start second guessing myself
Mhm.
on why I shouldn't submit this book. I submitted that book. The lady from the publishing company called me, I think that following week. And she was like, Lacresia, first I want to say I am so proud of you with everything that, and it makes me emotional sometimes, but everything that you have overcome. And she was like, I read your whole book. Like, I can't believe it. And she was like, oh, we're going to publish this book. And I was like, okay. And I was like, with the errors and everything. She was like, no, what you're going to do is go back and read over it and correct the errors. But she was like, I could read through the errors.
She got the gist
And
of it.
yes. And she was like, yeah, so we're going to publish this book. And it took about 6 months for the whole publishing process. And then afterwards, I got the book in hand. And before I announced it and before I had to give the okay for them to upload it on the platforms and they sent me copies of the book to my house, I think I just had to sit there because now while it was a big, like I could celebrate myself for saying I finally did it and I published a book. But now I'm opening myself up because I'm being fully transparent in my book. And I'm talking about myself, and some people are going to be upset with me with the stories that I told. Some people are going to be happy for me. Some people are not. I have to be open to who's going to pick my book up, who has something to say, it's like, while I'm happy and excited, I'm nervous because I really just put myself out there and I'm talking about my secrets or just things that I've dealt with that I could possibly be judged for.
Mhm.
But however, God wouldn't tell me to do something and not have my back.
Mhm. That part.
So
That part.
yeah, so it was like I put it out there and I published it and it's been out since. So yeah, it's been on Amazon and it is on my website. I normally direct people to my website to
Okay.
purchase my book.
I will put that
Um,
in the chat. Make sure y'all go buy her book. Go do all the things. I got you. I got you. So tell me
yeah.
about what made you decide to start doing the coaching.
So coaching, I feel like that's a gift as well. As long as I can remember, I've always been talking and trying to inspire and help people and mentor people. And I started doing my research and I didn't realize that it was called coaching.
Mhm.
So I was like, if I do this every day, all the time, I might as well get certified for this. So I truly feel like that is definitely a gift because everybody doesn't have that gift of coaching people.
Mhm.
So I was like, all right, well, I need to channel that gift. And let me look into what it is to be certified as a coach. So I researched courses and then I started studying how to become a certified coach, help life coach. Included in the life coaching certification, they offer health coaching. So I took that. So that kind of was like a bundle.
Mhm.
And then I'm also a part of a mastermind, which is a group of high ticket level entrepreneurs, and where we have like a prestigious like mentor where he coaches and mentor us through the whole entrepreneur space, like with everything that we're trying to do and help give us the tools to carry the stuff out.
Mhm.
And so he also offers, him and his wife, they offer a coaching certification as well, which is the transformational coaching certification, which is also how I got certified as a transformational speaker as well. So, and um, actually, in a few weeks next month, I'll be traveling to Atlanta to do a conference. I'll be speaking there. And
You have
so,
to send me the information for that so I can post that as well.
thank you. So, I'm like nervous and excited at the same time.
We excited. We putting it everywhere so that
Yeah,
everybody, the people that are viewing in Atlanta, they can come and check it out everywhere. Like,
yeah,
don't limit yourself. I mean, Atlanta has
absolutely.
a big platform when it comes down to like exotic dancers and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
you never know who you can touch in that arena. You never know who you can touch
Mm-hmm.
in any arena, because it's not just, I believe that you have a gift that surpasses just girls thinking about being in the strip club, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's bigger than that, because at the
Yeah.
same time, yes, this was one career choice, but the idea, the place that you sat in when you decided to go there, that is a very real place that other people may choose to do something else. They may choose to
Yep.
shift into something else, but the
Yep.
feeling, the place that you're in is what we're actually trying to address, so that
Yep.
whatever you choose to go to is not something like that. But
Yep.
we ain't gonna limit it.
Right. Right.
You're not gonna limit it. So I heard you earlier today say that you was going to school to be a lawyer. So what happened with that? Are we done with that? Because we need some more Black lawyers. So what's happening?
I know. So it's actually still been a part of my dream. I feel like I remember originally I used to say in school all the time, like, I want to be a judge. And then I always wanted to go to law school. I think what happened is I went to school, I got my bachelor's in criminal justice and I got my master's in criminal justice as well from University of Baltimore. I actually applied when I was going for my master's in criminal justice. I applied for the dual
Mhm,
program to
mhm.
do law school and criminal justice. And I remember around that time I was applying for law schools, and I remember I got accepted into the criminal justice the program for criminal justice, but I didn't get accepted into the law school at the time. I was off about a few points from my LSAT. Not that I was discouraged. I think at that time though I was like upset, but then I had the understanding of, you know what, wasn't right timing. I'll go to school for my criminal justice degree, but it's not the right timing anyway because I heard that the program was very intense. And I just started a new job. I was pregnant with my son at the time. So I was like, you know what? And I remember my advisor coming to me saying, I'm so sorry. And I said, I don't need to be sorry. It's all right. So,
Timing is everything. I
mhm,
know, like for instance, I was going to do the same thing.
mhm,
I did the Fannie Angelos program through UB for like the
mhm,
LSAT prep, and I did my LSAT. I got a 147,
Oh
And
my God, I got 148.
I did not apply for law school, and I did not apply because like the admission at UB was like, listen, we want a 150 bare minimum. And so I said, yeah, I'm not even going to apply. But I originally wanted to do the dual program, the negotiation and conflict management. And so I ended up getting my master's in negotiation and conflict management. And I never applied for the dual degree program. I literally was like, nope, I'm not trying. I'm not trying. I'm not trying. Because again, like nobody likes to be rejected because of that. Like then you're just then you're second guessing yourself. But if I can give any encouragement, do it, but it is intense. So I think then when I was looking to do it, I was looking to do it part-time. And I do think it's truly like I can't imagine doing it part-time and working full-time because it's just so much. But I definitely would encourage you to do it because
thank
we
you.
got 4%. And so I'm just trying to get to the 4%. And if I can put some more into the 4%, I'm gonna put some more into the 4%.
I know that's right. Okay. Yes, I am. My dream was actually to go to Howard. And I know that I can still do this. I think that right now, what I'm called to do, I'm just trying to focus 100% on that first. Once I get everything that I'm doing business wise, how I want it, because I think that even though my dream was always to become a lawyer, I didn't realize that my passion was people and helping people. And so I'm like, okay, focus on the passion, like of where you are purposed. And then once you get things like where they supposed to be, boom,
Everything's
you
gonna
can go
fall
ahead
into
to law
place.
school. Yep.
Everything is gonna fall into place. I truly believe that. I definitely believe that. You got this. You're on the right path. You're doing the things. I'm super excited for you. Everybody, I will have her Instagram. I'm going to have her website. I'm going to have all of everything inside the chat. Make sure you go follow her, hear her story. She has her page. She has her transformational coaching page. If you need coaching, go get some coaching. Okay. She has a book. Go buy the book. If you have something, if you want her to come speak, she is a transformational speaker. Come get her, reach out to her. I'm gonna say reach out to her agent because this is booked, okay? She's in different states and whatnot. She not just local. You gotta get on her calendar. And that's the book. So you gotta get her months in advance.
Right.
Speak it.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, go follow her. Is there anything last minute things that you want to tell the viewers or anything like that?
No, I just want to say thank you. Like I said in the beginning, if my prayers is always for this podcast to land in somebody's hands that need it. And so, like I said, I'm doing my job, whether it's reach a lot of people, whether it reaches one. I've done my job. So
Job
I
well
just want to say
done.
thank you. So
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on to the Millennial Mrs. Podcast. We appreciate it. And as always, thank you to the viewers who are tuning in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And tell us, give us feedback. Tell us, reach out, give her feedback. We need encouragement. Send her some encouragement as well. Absolutely. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
yes, thank you, Trinae.